Hey everyone, it is Monday morning, meaning it's time for another Motivational Monday. It is Pastor Christopher here and my lovely wife, Becca. This is your first time on Motivational Monday?
It is. I feel like I should preface this by saying that I'm not in front of the camera person. I'm a behind the scenes person.
She's actually a YouTube star.
Shut up.
And she has 1 million followers on Instagram and Facebook. No. Becca does not like being in front of camera.
No.
So she's doing a great service here. But we are excited. It is the new year. Yesterday was Sunday, January 1st. Today is the 2nd, and it's the new year in 2023. So God's been doing a new thing here at Urbana UMC. If you don't know, Pastor Jim has retired, and I have been appointed as the only pastor here at the church. And so we are looking forward to what's to come. Last week, Pastor Jim and Tammy did their very last Motivational Monday as they kind of ended their time with us. Pastor Jim and Tammy were awesome, and just monumental in what's happened at our church and what's happened in our lives. So what comes to your mind when you think about Pastor Jim and Tammy?
I'm super thankful for just the mentorship that Jim was with you and guiding us and helping us with the ministry. But I even think about the couple times that our kids were sick and Tammy called to check on me. They brought us dinners or whatever because they've just been there. They've been in ministry. They've had the kids, they've done the things, so they were just really more just parents to us, I think. Yeah. And we have great families, but they live in Columbus, right. And so on the day-to-day stuff, it's nice to just have some extra parents out here.
Yeah, our parents have been an amazing support system. But I was going to say the same thing. It's different when your parents live an hour and a half away. Mm-hmm. Jim and Tammy have just been that support system for us right down the road.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we were so thankful to them. I think about Jim and just his steadfastness. The guy is so committed to the church. And I mean the Big C church, not this church. Jim loves all the churches that love Jesus. And so I just think it's so cool watching him invest year after year. Mm-hmm. He and I hit it off right away when my heart was to see other churches come together, and his heart was the same thing, because he knows, and we've said this, we're better together, right? Mm-hmm. When all churches are working together, God's going to bless that, and you're going to see fruit from that. Mm-hmm. It's not just about growing Urbana United Methodist Church. Right. So that was something I've always thought about with Jim that I've just really respected and honored. In his entire transition, he has just been, the idea of a spiritual father.
Well, he's just been honoring too. He's just really done a good job of equipping, but also giving us permission to move forward and to take that lead. And I'm sure that wasn't always easy for him. He was very gracious and very honoring in that.
Yeah, he's done 41 years of ministry, and he's done it well. And this coming Sunday, we'll be inviting him back to celebrate him, because we didn't think Christmas Day and January 1st were appropriate days to celebrate.
It's not fair.
Pastor Jim and Tammy for all they've done. So this coming Sunday the 8th, if you haven't made plans, at 10 a.m., we'll have a service and a lunch to follow. Please RSVP if you haven't. But yeah, we're excited to celebrate them and their next chapter and their next season. And they shared a little bit about that last week on Motivational Monday, so if you haven't watched theirs, go back and watch it. I was thinking a lot about our journey and how we've gotten here, and when we first got here, a great friend and asset and amazing community member, Gary Schenkel, wrote up this really cool article that says, Urbana UMC welcomes new youth pastor. And you can see Becca and I there, a couple baby faces. In 2009, we started November of 2009, so I think this was written about that month afterward, maybe December, November. 13 years ago. And then this week, the Urbana Daily Citizen had this written by Gary Schenkel. Lillibridge retires and Donnell is appointed new lead pastor. And I just thought that was so cool to have both these newspaper clippings of just the journey that God's had us on.
It's just full circle.
It is. And, when we started in 2009, I had no idea what I was doing.
I honestly don't know who hired us, what they were thinking, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, they probably should have. No.
22-year-old babies that just didn't know what they were doing. And I think we were married
not even a year.
Maybe 6 months.
Yeah.
Which is kind of wild when you think about all the transition that comes into just being newlyweds. And then we decided we were going to try to do ministry on top of that.
And moved to a town we had no idea where
away
it was.
from family.
I mean, we had to look up Urbana on a map.
There was so many cows out here that I had just never seen before.
We're from the east side of Columbus, if you didn't know that. So it was all a different adjustment. But Urbana has become home. We love this place. We love this city. We love this community. We love the other churches and other ministries. We've created so many friends.
We feel called here.
We feel called to this place, And we
love it, but we feel called here.
Yeah, and we have had 3 children here, Selah, Hannah, and Lydia. And we're part of the school system, so we're just really excited about what's next for Urbana UMC and for us and for our community.
Yeah.
Clearly, God is bringing renewal and revival of even some of our downtown areas and a new life to where old empty things sat. And so we know that we are just on that next wave of what God wants to do in Urbana. And it doesn't mean we have to rewrite the playbook of what's been happening, but we know that each season there's something different, right? So what are some of the things that you have just really loved and appreciated about this church community? And
I think the biggest thing that sticks out to me about this congregation is just the generosity that's in this congregation. Is like just the movie theater and the warehouse building, and I mean even just taking meals to people and the genuineness of asking how people are. And I think this is the most loving congregation, and I think as a whole churches can be flawed, but I feel like our church is very loving, and maybe I'm a little biased, but I think anyone that I am encountered with, I feel like is in a loving and with the best of intentions. So those are the things that stick out to me, is generosity and genuine and just loving.
Yeah, so for me, I think even this transition has revealed a lot about the heart of our core group of leaders in this church. The big question mark we've heard us say is, Christopher can't do this alone. Christopher you can't do 2 jobs. And you're 100% right. If you said that, we said that. That's our heart too. We have to stay in love with God, stay in love with each other, and stay in love with our church. And so that's a big part of our job. But we can't do it all. But hearing the support from our servant leadership board, congregation members, other pastors in our community, what do you need to see us successful? That has been the thing that I keep hearing.
Which goes back to that just generosity and that genuine, the love, the family aspect that is here, I think.
Yeah.
Just really speaks to that.
Yeah, and we joked around there like, you have to tell us to let us help you. And I'm like, okay. And they've already called me out on it when I've done something, cleaning up something. And they're like, you better call, tell us you need help. And so that's just the idea of we're all in this together. It's not about me. It's not about Becca. It's not about Pastor Jim or Tammy. Yeah. It's not about the board, or it's not about the name on the front door. It's about a people who love Jesus, who feel called to share that Jesus with the community around us and beyond. We know that God has a plan for Urbana, but we know that this is bigger than Urbana. We're part of the kingdom. And when the kingdom is healthy, it's growing, and it's growing in all places. And so I'm really excited about the future of what is happening here at the church. And I know that God has blessed us with that leadership of Jim and Tammy. It's not too often you get a chance to have healthy transition like this.
Agreed.
And it's really cool to see that happen and play out. And we've been so honored and blessed through this whole time, because it just feels like family, right? It feels like we're just doing the next right thing.
I think I said before, like, he just gave so much permission for us to move forward and do whatever needs to be done, which is huge.
Yeah, Pastor Jim was a great permission giver, and if that's not you, you know how hard that is to not give permission, for your kids to do something crazy, or
or maybe not the way you do.
Or not the way you want something done, or you want to control how it's done. I mean, that's very hard to do, and Jim has done a great job of that. We're just really blessed this new year. For me, I think I've been hanging on to the verse in Isaiah says, "Do you not perceive it? Do you not see that that God wants to do a new thing? He wants to put a spring into the wasteland and the desert, an oasis in a desert." Because there's questions in times of transition, and there's uncertainties. I mean, we're going to have them too, and we're going to fail.
Sure.
And the church is going to make mistakes along the way. But we know that God has equipped us and surrounded us, that we will always fail forward in the right support system to guide us, because we know that even if it seems like rocky or shaky ground, that God will make a way in a desert and a wasteland with new life and new water and an oasis. I mean, again, this is a testament to that. I mean, my life is in the newspaper from when we started here and where we're at now. And again, God made a way. It wasn't us. And he's got the next chapter for us too. So we're really excited. So hopefully that is encouraging you today, to know that God has a plan for you, that he loves you. We love you. We're praying for you. If you're interested in learning more about what's happening here, we would love for you to join in what God's doing here. God is doing a great thing among us and in our community as well. And so if you don't come to this church, we encourage you to go to church somewhere. But if you're on the fence right now where you're at, we encourage you to come check it out and see what God's doing here. So we love you. We pray for you. And we'll see you next week.